Y'all, everything just changed in this anti-ICE shooting. We have the new one in Portland. We have the one in Minneapolis. Everything is dropping because more information is actually coming to light, and even the Democrat political operatives and the politicians themselves who are trying to couch themselves as content creators are getting a little uncomfortable with this one. I'm going to walk you through the entire thing. Everything will be linked in the description box below. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Guys, this is literally our country we're trying to save, and these people are actively trying to do things for their own benefit, and I'm being polite on that one. Okay, you can follow me on X at BradenLOA. Guys, we got to dive right into this because I told you last night, and it seems to have picked up some legs, and I've seen this on some other channels. This is about setting the table, right, raising the temperature, and when a flashpoint happens, they immediately deploy protesters, paid protesters, organized protesters. This is what's happening. It is actively happening on the ground, okay? I'm going to continue to show you this, but I want to show you how, oh my God, someone actually called a Democrat out for manipulating something before they know any facts. It's almost like they're chasing emotional response. Watch this. This is really important. This guy is a 100% politician. I'm just going to put it to you that way.
Interviewed any eyewitnesses on the ground?
That's what we were just talking about.
Have you interviewed any eyewitnesses on the ground in Minneapolis? Have you interviewed any eyewitnesses?
Have I personally interviewed them? No,
Yes.
That's not my job.
Okay. Have I personally interviewed anyone in Minneapolis or Minnesota? No. That's not my job. Really? You sure as hell got out there and declared exactly the end of the investigation pretty quick to an entire national audience and any camera that would listen. This is the whole point. They run out, and it supplements what I was telling you last night. They run out, they come up with a preconceived notion of what happened. Damn all the facts, damn anything else, damn any action. They want to say their one thing, get it out on the internet, and then they can get their little clip to be a content creator, congressman. No, I haven't interviewed anybody. Really? So you came to 100% conclusion that this was absolutely ICE murdering a woman on the way to the grocery store. No other contributing factors, no other things at all. They just wanted to murder a woman. And you just go with that. Watch. But it's not his job. Guys, it's not his job.
My job is to speak truth to power.
It's really
interesting. And when I look at that video, I see murder. And I think we should call it that if that's what happened. And by the way, I've been in situations like that. Have you ever
due process? I've looked at your tweets. You've talked about the concept of due process. No, this is important for everybody to understand. You have a job, and you have highlighted to us as a congressman. You watched a viral video. I don't know how many videos you watched. There's multiple angles, but you watched a video. You didn't interview a witness. You didn't look at law enforcement reports. You haven't spoken to the agent involved. And with that limited knowledge of looking at a viral video, you went to social media and you condemned the federal officer to murder. You made that conclusion long before an investigation is played out. And I'm just curious, is that in line with your vision of due process? Interviewed any?
Oh my God, I could do a whole video on this segment alone. I got more for you though, don't worry. You have to understand some backstory here. The Democrats, the leftists, the Seth Moultons, all of them in Congress, they have been spending so much time crowing about due process for people who are not citizens of the United States, about people who are illegally in the United States, due process getting before them to be removed through ICE, through deportation measures. Not to mention the fact that they completely go on about this instance, zero due process, zero investigation, zero anything. The hypocrisy stands for itself, but here's a little something for my other 2A people in the crowd, because I know you guys are screaming it. These people are the exact same people who spend all their time crowing about red flag laws across the entire nation and the desire for red flag laws. And if you don't know what a red flag law is, I'm going to keep it real high level for you. It's a direct tie into this. Red flag laws are where the politicians and judges and police can decide whether you get to have your constitutional rights, which are your Second Amendment rights, because someone randomly complained about you and you could be a danger to yourself or others. You don't get to face your accuser. You don't get to face your charges. You just get a warrant and a knock on the door. You lose your Second Amendment rights and you have 12 months to potentially gain them back. You are presumed guilty until proven innocent. It is the exact opposite of due process, of which this dillhole 100% is advocating for, except in the case of a federal officer who is an ICE agent, and then in that case, there is no need for due process because it's obvious it's murder. AOC did it. Jasmine Crockett did it. Dan Goldman did it. Tim Walz did it. Jacob Bray did it. They all have done it. It's not about due process. It's about what they can glean emotionally to get the needle moving in the way that they want it to be moved, because they are absolutely trying to harness emotional benefit from a woman's death. And I don't want her to be dead. I don't want this whole situation to happen. I don't want the ICE agent to be in that scenario, and I don't want the woman to be in that scenario. It's bad. I'm with you on that. But you can't be this level of asinine because you are that transparent of a manipulative, content-creating congressman. Let's keep on going, because I got more for you. Again, if I'm landing the plane, let me hear you in the comments, because, again, YouTube is doing some weird stuff right now. But here we go. Another CNN segment. This is a very important one. Listen to the left and how they shift, how they completely change the conversation, and they're bouncing around, and they're all to emotional talking points. And I'm going to tell you the truth about what they're saying, too. Watch.
Well, the New York Post is reporting tonight that she was part of a local organization and she was labeled as an ICE warrior. Her role was to go out and impede ICE to do videos and stalk these guys. I mean, can we not just admit right here, right now, can we all agree, but for her actions, we would not be having this discussion tonight?
No,
that is absolutely true.
No,
think about
we
this.
absolutely
Yes.
cannot all agree
Oh,
that.
yeah, no,
this is
no, no,
bananas.
no, absolutely.
What is happening again is, once again, one side is painting the other side as if we are terrorists, as if we are radicals. We've got the vice president calling her deranged, a deranged leftist.
What was she doing there, Lee? What was she doing?
Do you honestly want to know?
You tell me.
Okay. She was there in her car after dropping her child off at school. She was shot at 9.
Blocking 2 lanes of traffic, right.
She was not blocking 2 lanes of traffic because we both watched her wave 2 people around her car. They drove around her car, so she was not blocking 2 lanes of traffic. Then when they told her to move, she backed up and she drove. I've said this a million times. That's not the point.
What was she doing there?
That's the whole point. Remember, okay, they're completely changing what happened. You all know, because you have eyes and you've all seen the video, that that's not what happened. She was a member of a radical group that was tracking and organizing resistance to ICE. I'm going to show you multiple clips that are going around virally right now of this exact same thing happening with the exact same kind of groups across the entire nation. I don't want her to put herself in this situation. I don't want the ICE agent to be in this situation. I don't want any of this to happen. But it goes to the underlying principle. The woman is still dead. She was put in that position because the overall temperature of the entire environment by the far left progressive groups was telling her that's what is virtuous to do. She puts herself in a position where she is absolutely blocking traffic. That was her stated goal. She was leading a convoy of cars to do it. She does not mean she deserves death, but it also doesn't mean she was driving to her school. That is an absolute whitewash for emotional effect. Because it doesn't matter about fact anymore for these people. Now it's about the emotional impetus. Now it's about what can you glean politically and what can you get for your followers because you're more emotionally upset. Facts, truth, doesn't matter. Watch.
It doesn't matter what she was doing there.
Absolutely.
No, okay, so I'm walking down the street.
Impeding legal
She was not impeding anyone.
She
was not impeding anyone.
Let me
This is
just say
completely
this.
bananas.
It doesn't actually matter why she was there. She
of
didn't
course not.
deserve.
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
She
It
didn't
absolutely
deserve to
matters.
die.
Look.
Because you know what? If there was a de-escalation tactic, which some of the work I've been doing for the last 15 years of my career, if there was a de-escalation tactic and not drawing a weapon, there's a way. You have the license plate. Guess what? If I go, hey, you look me. You don't look over there, right? So if a man is coming to your car and pulling, you might not even see the officer in front.
Let me finish. She refused
and
to
she
do it.
said, go around.
She was ordered to get out of the car.
And so that she deserves to die?
Do you not?
See this game? This is the emotional game. So she did do all the things that you said. Well, she didn't do all the things. She literally, it's on camera not doing the things that she was ordered to do. Oh, so she deserves to die? Well, hold on a second. 10 seconds ago, she did nothing wrong. Well, now that you're proving that that's incorrect, but even though she did those things wrong, of which I said that she wasn't doing anything wrong, but now that I've admitted that she is doing something wrong, does that mean she deserves to die? I've got a quick answer for you. No, of course she doesn't deserve to die for that. However, it doesn't matter what she was doing there, doesn't really make a whole lot of sense when you are with the stated goal going to impede federal officers. This is not someone who was just driving to school and then was stopped and harassed. This was an active decision that was made. I don't want it to happen. I wish that they had never gotten to the point where this was going to be a thing. I wish across the entire nation that there weren't a bunch of people doing this exact same thing with their cars. I do not want this. But to frame this as it doesn't matter what she was doing is kind of like if you walk into a bank and you rob the bank, but all of a sudden you get shot in the commission of robbing that bank, well then, it doesn't matter what she was doing there. Did they have to use force? They could have de-escalated. Hey, I have a question for you. Why couldn't she or the other groups or the people who were screaming at the ICE agents or the people who were obstructing the ICE agents, why can't they de-escalate? That's my question for you. Because honest to God, they are agitating and agitating and agitating, and then when there's a reaction, the story is all about the reaction, not the agitators that have been doing this for 12 months. I don't want any of this to happen. But the bottom line is the far left is pushing people to put themselves in dangerous situations and guaranteeing nothing will ever happen because they're virtuous. And then when a horrible thing happens, then they could have de-escalated the entire time after you were escalating the whole time. They are being disingenuous. They are being manipulative, and they are looking for cheap political points. That's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll see you on the next one.